Welcome along to episode 797 of the Milk Bar. Jason Forrest here with you as ever. And coming up on the show this week, Dr. Ranj lets us know about his role in And Juliet, which is at the Grand next week. We chat with Amy Finch from Stowlawns Primary about her charity fundraiser, Walking into Brum. We'll be talking good and evil when it comes to the Garrick Panto as we meet two more on the cast. John from Bake Off lets us know what it's like to be inside that big tent. We'll be talking to Max Dickins as we find out about new research from Nomo, the chocolate people, all about how people find it harder to make friends. We talk active play with Oxygen and how kids' birthday parties have evolved. Plus, One of Us is Dead is the brand new novel in the Grace series from Peter James. We'll be having a catch up with him all about his work there. That's all on the way on the show this week.
Welcome to the Milk Bar. 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 Between the 7th and the 12th of October at Wolverhampton's Grand Theatre, And Juliet is on the stage. Making his musical theatre debut is, I don't know whether to call him doctor or not, Ranj Singh. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm okay. Yeah, so, I mean, to most people, you are Dr. Ranj, but this is an exciting new part of the world because I mean, you've done Panto for a number of years now. So obviously, this was going to happen sooner or later, wasn't it?
Oh, well, I was kind of hoping so. Musical theatre has been a big dream of mine for a very long time. And as you say, I've had the odd theatre experience here and there. I've done Panto, I've done all-star musicals. And I absolutely love it. To me, it's magic. And I always wanted to be a part of that magical world. And then this opportunity with And Juliet came up. And it was too good to say no, really. I auditioned for it and couldn't believe it when I got the part, and I'm having the best time in one of the best musicals, and I'm biased, that I have ever seen.
Now, I haven't seen this yet, but just reading through the info that comes with this, for starters, Max Martin songs. I mean, this is not so much a jukebox musical as the music of a writer that happens to have been performed by global stars, being number one hits across the world, all brought into one place.
Absolutely. And it's the music of our lives because we've all grown up with this stuff. Like he's written for everyone from Backstreet Boys to Britney, Ariana Grande to Kelly Clarkson, Celine Dion, Bon Jovi. Like we know all of these songs and they're woven so beautifully into this story that they feel like they were written for the show, but everyone knows these songs. You'll all sing along, you'll all be a part of it. And there's a reason there's a standing ovation at the end of every show is because everyone is having such a good time. It is a party. It's so much fun.
And it also helps if you've got Dr. Ranj Singh in the cast as well, alongside even more people of huge talent just like yourself, which is quite exciting. You've got a great gang to work with.
I can't believe it. I'm on stage with Matt Cardle, Lara Denning, Sandra Marvin. These are big, big names in the music and theatre world. And we've also got this fantastically talented cast. We've got incredible ensemble members. We've got Carl Cox, who plays Francois. I was about to say Francis because I keep calling him Francis. And Jordan Broach, who plays Juliet, is just exquisite. These kids are fantastic, but being on stage with these legends is a really special experience.
Now, I mean, the show itself, as you said, is huge. But I mean, how does this work for you as well? Because obviously we know you've been continuing to work as a doctor around everything else that you do. This is an interesting way of scheduling your world. And I should think a well-earned break from the rigors of being in Scrubs.
Yeah, so I've been working in the NHS for over 20 years and I've taken a little bit of a break just to be able to do some other, this is a full-time commitment and I've got some other projects that I wanted to do. So I was like, right, I want to chase a bit of joy, do some of the stuff that I've really wanted to do for a long time. And I've just taken a little step back temporarily to allow me to do that. But I'm still very much at the core of me a doctor and I'm always going to be. It's just right now I'm just exploring some of these other things that life has to offer.
And so when these opportunities come along, it is difficult to say no. And you've done more than your fair share already. Let alone everything we know you'll do in the future. But I mean, you continue to inspire through the books and things that we have out there as well. So, you're there. You still get everyone's back.
Oh, yeah. And there's more books coming. That's part of the reason I've had to take a bit of a break. There's only so many hours in the day. There's only so much I can do. So I've got to give myself and my brain space and time to be able to do these things. And also it's part of it was also for my mental well-being. I felt like, there is a danger of taking on too much, and therefore you've got to have a word with yourself and sometimes make those decisions where you step back and say, right, I've just got to, put some other things on hold temporarily whilst I need to do the things I need to do. But I'm having the best time. I'm very, very fortunate and privileged to be doing what I'm doing. And this is a dream come true in so many ways. And I'm so happy and proud to be part of such a joyful show.
Yeah. I mean, with the cast, though, are they not coming to you with ailments, are they? Please tell me they're not doing that.
Only occasionally, and I'm more than happy to help.
That's all good then. So, and Juliet, I mean, it's a musical set after Romeo has. I don't know where spoilers start to kick in on these things. After things didn't work
Well,
out quite so well as they could have done with Romeo.
yeah, well, the tagline is, there's life after Romeo. What would have happened if Juliet didn't take her own life at the end of Romeo and Juliet? And what if she got to rewrite the story? And that's where the journey really begins. It's this fantastically empowering rewrite of that narrative. And it's a very inclusive show. It celebrates diversity, being who you are, and whoever you love. It celebrates finding love in later life, which is what my character does. And it's just a fun, joyful show for everyone and for all ages. We have audiences from kids right the way up to like grandparents' ages, and they all love it because there's something in it for everyone.
And have you got of the amazing music a particular favorite, whether it be one that you get to perform on or whether it's something you get to
Oh,
listen
there's
to?
so many. So in the show, I get to have my boy band moment because we have a boy band scene where I get to sing to Backstreet Boys that I grew up with, and I always wanted to do something like that, and I can't believe it's happened. And then I have this fantastic scene with Sandra Marvin, uh, where we have a mashup of Teenage Dream by Katy Perry and Break Free by Ariana Grande. It's a really fun, fast-paced scene, and we have a massive laugh during that, and the audience really, really enjoys it.
I am so jealous of you, to be honest with you, because I mean, I don't have the talents that you have to be able to do this for starters, but that's part of the problem. But the other bit is you're having such clearly a great time with this. It's
Oh,
supposed to be like being a teenager again.
absolutely, absolutely. This is exactly what I needed. The world can sometimes be a really difficult place. Life and work can be really, really tricky. And I needed something to lift me up and just make me smile again. And this really has. It's brought that joy back into my life that I was craving for so long. I'm lucky in so many ways. I just needed something to lift me up again. And this show has done that in abundance. It's fantastic. I cannot sing its praises highly enough. It is well worth watching again and again. And people often come back again and again because it makes them so happy.
It is Anne Juliet. It is at Wolverhampton's Grand Theatre from the 7th through to the 12th of October. It is just going to be a glorious, fun fest of amazing music, some fun, and a reworking on someone's story who deserves to have it told. I think we need more of this in life, don't we?
Absolutely. More joy. We need more happiness, more joy, more inclusion, more celebration. And that's exactly what this show is.
We will make the most of it when it's at the Grand in October. Dr. Ranj Singh, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, it is that time of year when we go to see another of the amazing novels in the Roy Grace Detective series. Peter James joins me now to tell me about One of Us is Dead. How are you doing, sir?
Great to talk to you again, Jason.
Well, it's good to catch up with you, and we absolutely adore the series, and it is so a bit of a landmark 20th outing, isn't it?
I can't believe it. I know One of Us is Dead is the 20th book. I remember when I started, Dead Simple was published in 2005, and I had a 2-book deal, and I thought, well, I'll set the mystery of what happens to Roy Grace's wife, Sandy, up in Dead Simple, the first book, and I'll give the resolution in the second book. I did not think that I'd be now writing the 21st, which I'm about to deliver. And I also didn't think that I'd be 20 Roy Grace novels on. I'd be writing and publishing Sandy's story, which came out in May this year. They Thought I Was Dead, which tells you all about what really happened in the year she went missing.
And I say, this is such compelling work. It has been picked up by ITV. Now, you've got, Something which is akin to the likes of Agatha Christie, with the not only the prolific nature of your writing, but also the amazing way in which it's been adapted for television too.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm absolutely delighted with Grace on television. Um, I think if I'd had to do an identity kit, a police e-fit, when I was first creating Roy back in 2003, it would have come up with John Sim. And John is just, I think, brilliant, as well as being one of the nicest people on the planet. But I think he's done a great job, and I think all the cast have. And we've just finished season 4, and they're about to start, or about to finish this week, filming season 5 for next year. So there's going to be another 4 episodes and books. I'm going to have to write faster. And also, Roy Grace has been adapted for the stage. There have been 5 previous Roy Grace stage plays and then one of my standalones. And I have a new stage play coming on starting in February. It's going to be in Birmingham. So I guess that's quite near you.
Just down the road?
Yeah. And that's going to be, early in the new year. And that's Picture You Dead, which is based on the novel Picture You Dead I wrote about the world of art forgery.
Okay, so that's going to be another amazing one. Okay, we will talk closer to the time about that one and make sure
Yeah, I'd
we're
love
getting
to.
some of the cast
Yeah.
on air as well. We'll get that set up. But I mean, for One of Us Is Dead, I mean, you've got a new character in here as well with James Taylor standing at the back of the church for a funeral of a childhood friend.
Yeah, the genesis for One of Us Is Dead is that I get about once a fortnight, somebody says to me, "Hey Peter, I've got a great idea for a book you're going to want to write," and lots of people have great ideas. Not necessarily an idea I want to spend a year of my life researching and writing, but on this occasion, I was actually at a funeral, and at the wake afterwards, the son of an old friend came up to me and said, "I've got a story you're going to want to write." I said, "John, I'm sure you have." He said, No, I'm going to tell you this story. You're going to write it. I guarantee." So I was intrigued. So I sat down, had a coffee with him afterwards, and he said, "A guy I know, he's a bit dodgy, told me that he was at a funeral 6 months ago, and all his mates are pretty dodgy too." And he said it was a rammed country church. It was pelting with rain outside. He arrived late, and he had to stand at the back. And halfway through the service, he suddenly notices a guy sitting 6 rows in front of him, whose funeral he went to 2 years earlier and gave the eulogy at. And I thought, oh yes, I have to write this.
That is amazing. So we can expect the usual level of intrigue, the amazing detective skills, Grace, and of course a slightly different spin from this angle as well. But it doesn't mean there aren't oddities like mushroom poisonings thrown in for good measure.
Do you believe in coincidence?
I still admit I probably don't. Things all do seem to happen around a cycle, don't they?
Well, it's so weird because the in the scene that story I just told is the opening chapter of One of Us Is Dead, and the guy in the coffin is one of life's eternal losers, and his last failed venture was as an Instagram chef when he died from poisoning after eating a death cap mushroom which is mistaken for a field mushroom. The book came out 24th of this month, and yesterday on BBC News, the Channel Islands, 3 people in hospital having eaten death cap mushrooms by mistake.
Too easy to do, isn't it, if you're foraging for food? It's one to be careful with. So, yeah, life and fiction matching up in intriguing ways. So, what else do we need to know that's going to bring new people to the series of books? And okay, they can sort of start anywhere in some way, can't they? Because you do write concise stories which are actually self-contained.
Yeah, every Roy Grace novel is self-contained, so you can read at any point. If you want to get the most out of the series, then if you start with Dead Simple, which is the first, that's where you get the introduction to Roy, and we learn in that book that he's a homicide detective in Brighton. He's just coming up to his 39th birthday, and 9 years earlier, he came home on his 30th birthday looking forward to going out to dinner with his wife, Sandy, who he loved and adored, and she was gone, vanished off the face of the earth. no note, nothing. And for 9 years, while he continues to function as an effective homicide detective, his entire private life, free time, has been dogged by trying to find what happened, trying to find her. Did she run off with a lover? Did she take her own life? Did she have an accident? Did she get kidnapped? And did she have amnesia? And in Dead Simple, he finally starts moving forward. A mate sets him up with a blind date, and it's a disaster. He goes, this woman who hates police officers. And then in the second in the series, he starts falling in love with Cleo, who runs the Brighton and Hove mortuary. And their life develops. So I've tried to keep the series constantly fresh by Roy's developing love life and new family, I sneak in little appearances of Sandy, so we start realizing she is still alive, and then we realize also she's not quite the perfect wife Grace thought she was, and I keep that kind of mystery going for a long time, and then I finally have resolved that this year with the standalone I've written about it called They Thought I Was Dead. So a new reader to Grace could actually catch up quite a lot by reading They Thought I Was Dead.
So worthwhile checking this out. 20 times #1 bestseller in the Sunday Times, and we know why, because the writing is absolutely amazing. As we say, One of Us Is Dead is the brand new novel out now, and you can see how you get on with more in the latest of the Grace series, and of course you enjoy it on TV as well. And reading the books and watching telly are two different things as well, so you will enjoy both, I'm absolutely sure. Peter, where do we find you on socials and online?
You can get me on Facebook, on Instagram. I'm even on TikTok now. If you go to my website, which is peterjames.com, that will give you everything. That gives you all my social media handles. It also gives you all the play dates for Picture You Dead. It gives you all the novels in the right order. And it also gives you all the television shows in the right order. There have been 12 broadcasts to date, and there'll be another 4 next year.
Something amazing to look forward to. Always a pleasure. Peter James, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Jason.
Now, 1 in 3 of us want more friends. Food may be the secret to building up those friendships. Max Dickins, comedian, author, and it seems somebody who loves his chocolate, joins me now to tell me more. How are you doing, sir?
I'm really good, mate. Good to be with you.
Good to talk to you. So tell us the tale here. What's this research showing?
So Nomo, which are a vegan and free from chocolate brand, have done this study into friendship in the UK, and it turns out there's a bit of a crisis going on. 1 in 10 people say they haven't got any friends. Staggering, really. 2 in 3 Brits want more friends. A quarter of Brits say they're lonely. And the problem seems to get worse as we get older. So young folks, so 16 to 24-year-olds, reckon they've got 20 friends. Get to the over 55s, it's all the way down to 11, so almost cut in half. So we want more connections, but we can't get them. That's roughly what's going on at the moment.
Oh, how old are you now?
I'm 36 now.
So this puts you into, you're into the almost getting on a bit range. So have you got more than 13 friends?
I reckon I do, but then we're into the kind of conversation about what exactly is a friend, and I suppose different people have different kind of understandings of that. In terms of like really close friends, I don't think I've got anywhere near 13 really close friends. I definitely have got 13 friends, but people who I like feel really know me deeply, I reckon I can fit them on one hand. And I think that's all right. But I think we do need to make sure we're connected generally. I think we need a balance, don't we? We need really close friends. We need some friends we can have a laugh with. And then these kind of more casual connections kind of fill in all the gaps. But increasingly, people have, I think, none of these things.
And as well as all of that, it's where do you find them? How do you interact, whether it's online or whether you're talking to people in real life? Fewer people, I suppose, are going to the pub these days. You're always out on the road, so therefore that's your excuse. You've got a friend who's a tour manager, and that's about it. It can be limiting.
It can be limiting. And also, I think friend making gets harder as we get older. So the big thing that comes out is that time is like the number one factor in friendships. Like, we can't cheat time. If you don't spend time with friends, you lose the friends, basically. And what happens as we get older is we get really busy with work, gets more intense, busy with like our romantic relationship demands a lot more time. We might have a family and kids increasingly, people are there at intense parenting styles, like really taking a lot of time, and that's great. But the first thing off the to-do list is hanging out with our mates. And I think another thing here is we maybe become less open to making friends as we get older. We kind of associate that friend-making phase of our life is when we're younger. We kind of settle into our group of friends, and then we don't become open to making new ones. And we maybe don't do the little habits, the little things that would help us out to kind of make friends as we go through life.
Yeah, because I mean, it'd be awful, say, if someone were to be planning a wedding and not realise I haven't got any friends to, say, have a best man, that sort of stuff.
I agree. It'd be tragic, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Sadly,
is there a book about that?
There is. Funny enough, there is a book about it, and I wrote it. So, a few years ago, I was planning on getting engaged, and I went as far as buying an engagement ring. Took a couple of female friends along for sort of moral support, and we went to the pub afterwards when we got this ring. I said, "So, Max, who are you thinking of having as best man then?" My mind went blank. I thought, well, I've had a couple of beers. That must be it. So I go back home that night, get a pad and pen out, and go, well, who would I have as best man? It takes me far too long to make this list. And I look down the list. I go, well, I work with half of these guys. They think it pretty weird if I ask them to do such a big job. And the rest of them was like, oh, I haven't spoken to some of these fellas for 2-3 years. I just thought, where have all my friends gone? And I thought, loneliness doesn't look like me. I'm a pretty outgoing guy. Hopefully that's coming across. I bum around quickly. But increasingly, loneliness does look like me, and it's especially bad for blokes. So since they've started measuring this sort of thing, roughly the early 70s, social scientists start thinking about this stuff. Men have had fewer friends than women, especially fewer close friends. And I set about trying to solve that problem for myself and work out what goes wrong for guys.
Food is a great way of doing it because it's easy to say to your mates, let's go out for something to eat. And then the social expectations are quite simply choosing what you're going to have off the menu.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, so firstly with blokes, we tend to bond around a shared activity, and eating out is a great one. And guys need a pretense to get together. If you text someone and say, do you want to come out for a chat? They'll probably be like, not really. If you say, do you want to come out for a curry? Like, yeah, I'll see you have a curry. Yeah, definitely. But you're right about food being a great way of kind of bringing people together. And it has been forever, right? We bond through sharing food and drink. We have done throughout the whole of the human species. And certain foods are better than others. So part of this NOMO research is, interestingly, chocolate, they discovered, is people's favourite conversation starter. So if you're trying to start a conversation with a new person you come across, maybe they're in the office, or maybe, I don't know, they're in your local cafe, offer them a little square of chocolate, you're off to the races, it seems.
And with No More Chocolate, you know that you haven't got any issues. You can offer this to anybody. It is vegan. There is no one who's going to be offended here.
No one's going to be offended. It's free of egg, it's free of gluten, it's free of nuts, free of all sorts of things. So everyone's included. And I think the good thing is, like you say, when you give someone a little gift, it kind of softens the bond between you, and they're more likely to reciprocate, and you've immediately got a shared experience. And I just think we need to be more present, don't we, in the real world? I think too many people are going around in our little digital bubbles, right? We're staring at our phones, we've got our ear pods in, we're not present, we're not open to having conversations, we don't look approachable, and maybe we're not used to kind of going first with this stuff. It used to be something that was really common to have conversations, and now we're getting out of practice of it, and it's really important we get back into it, because all friendships start with that first chat.
Absolutely. And if that's then followed up by a square of, I don't know, chocolate fudge Nomo, then that's going to help things significantly. And I love the fact that you've got your nails painted to match the packaging there as well.
Good spot. Yeah. So I did this last night. And actually, do you know why I did this?
Go on.
Is because it's a little campaign it's called Hard as Nails, a little thing me and a few people are doing to basically start conversations. So it's about blokes. You come and go, oh, why are you painting your nails? And then you start having conversations about, I suppose, masculinity. And do you know what? It's been a great way of getting these little conversation starters going. So I don't think this features in the survey, have your nails painted, but this is a great way of doing it. So start with a bit of Nomo, show your nails, and you're off.
Stops you biting your nails as well.
Oh, do you know what? I've really noticed how much I bite my nails today because I'm already chipping it. Yeah. I'm learning on the job, as it were, with the nails.
You'll end up with purple bits on your teeth. That won't look good.
Yeah, and up my nose maybe.
Yeah, but chocolate is a great thing to put in your mouth instead of your nails. So make sure you do that. Where can we go for more on this survey from Nomo? And of course, find out how we can make more friends and influence people.
Well, Nomo Choc is the website. If you pop that into your favourite search engine, you'll come across Nomo and the survey they've done. There's all sorts of interesting stuff in there. If you want to know more about me and my story, my name's Max Dickins, and my book's called Billy No Mates: How I Realised Men Have Got a Friendship Problem.
Can we find you on the socials if we wish to be?
Hey, yeah, get me on the socials. Yeah, show me your painted nails. I'm Max Dickins on X and on Instagram as well.
And of course, you can probably follow Nomo as well and get some great chocolate that way too.
Absolutely, they're on all the socials.
All good ideas. Max Dickins, the comedian, and as we know now, author of Billy No Mates, How I Realised Men Have a Friendship Problem. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, loved it. Cheers, mate.
Now, Jack and the Beanstalk is a tale of good versus evil, as it's all Panto. It's at the Lichfield Garrick from the 22nd of November through to the 12th of January. I'm joined now by the good and the bad. We have the good fairy, and I'm not sure a bad. What are you as a bad thing, Jack?
Oh, I'm incredibly evil.
Okay, just incredibly evil. They're here. Hello. I'm going to start with good first.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Jill Jordan. It's almost like we've both got microphones, isn't it? That's quite an impressive wand.
How are you, Jason?
I'm very well. Are you all right?
Yes, I'm very good. I'm in character.
I've never seen you in this sort of outfit before.
No, you never have. You've never seen my knees.
Well, no.
Do they please my knees?
They're amazing knees. I mean, they're almost as sparkly as his knees. I noticed he's got sparkly knees, but...
Yes, he has.
So you've been welcomed with open arms to the Lichfield Garrick. So tell us about your fairy, because you've got a good fairy name, haven't you?
Fairy Sugarsnap, yes. She's, she wears matching shoes and handbag, always.
Well, that's very much like your good self in real life.
That's right, yes. And she knows what's what, does Fairy Sugarsnap. And she's here to do good.
Which is great.
Isn't it?
It's necessary in a Panto. Someone's got to keep the Trot family on
Get
track,
that
haven't
magic going. Get that magic going.
Which is great. Do you mind if I ignore you for a minute and have a quick chat
Yes, ignore me.
with Joe? Mr. Finney, how you doing?
Hello, I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right. So tell us about your character name.
So I'm Luke back in anger.
Is there not an Oasis reference in there, is there?
No comment. For legal reasons, we can't say either way.
But you may have a theme tune.
Perhaps.
You never know.
Yes.
We're not close enough to find out yet, are
Well,
we?
we'll find out if the Gallagher brothers will let us use any of their songs. But no, yes, Luke back in anger, perfectly evil, incredibly handsome, and very scheming.
I'm not entirely sure whether he's in character at the moment. What do you reckon?
Yes, he is.
That's okay
yes.
then. So, come on, how are you both? You looking forward to a great Christmas in Lichfield?
Can't wait.
Yes, yeah, Lichfield is absolutely lovely, and the theatre is beautiful. I know it's going to be a great few months here. Yes.
But you've got to petrify children. That's part of the gig, isn't it?
Yes, I'm very good at it.
Yeah, they've got the voice that does that. Yeah. Then you're not throwing things as well, are you?
We'll see.
Okay, we'll see what happens. We'll tell that. But Panto is obviously a great time of year for families across the area, and they will be coming down here. So you've really got to shine.
Yes.
Hence the sparkly bits on it, I guess.
Absolutely. I mean, this does half the work for me. Yes. But no, it's going to be a great show, and this theatre puts on an amazing production. So this year is going to be officially, I can confirm, it's going to be the best Panto yet.
That's the way we like it. I mean, how many Pantos have you done in your tender years?
Well, this will be my fourth one. Yes, I've previously played the Dame a few times, and so this will be my fourth Panto.
You still get eyeshadow in this one as well, don't you? Which is what...
Well, I need makeup contractually. Yes, I can't. You can possibly take my ugly mug on stage without it. Yeah.
And Jill, I'm certainly no stranger at all to Panto. You've done a few, haven't you?
About 8.
Is it 8? That's
Well,
good.
I've done more than that, but in the run that I've known you, I've done 8.
And that's it's a good number. And you've always had good fun, which is what counts.
I have.
And different wigs this year.
And
which
lots
is,
of animal costumes.
Yeah, I mean, in Birmingham there are a few animal costumes,
It's
aren't
nice
there? Yeah.
to be a fairy.
Yeah, and get the legs out.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of time and effort you put into making your legs look amazing. I mean, the moisturising, the
Thank
general
you,
care,
Jason.
it's all there, isn't it? But I mean, it's going to be good fun. But a fairy is different for you, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, I've seen you play everyone from Margaret Thatcher through to someone who's a little lazy. So this is I mean, a quality bling for you.
I know. I can't wait. I really can't wait.
And nice and close to home.
Yeah, lovely.
So, I mean, what is going to be the standout moment for you, do you think?
The stand-up moment.
Yeah, is it just being able to see the beanstalk?
I'm waiting to find out.
Oh, right, okay. Did you have any input into the wand that you have there? Because fairy wands are an important part of...
Isn't that gorgeous? Do you know what it is?
I think it's a globe artichoke.
It is.
Oh, God.
Correct. Do you have them on your pizza?
Not knowingly, because...
Very handy.
Yes, does that job, does it? Okay, tap it on the head. With the fun of Panto on the way and Christmas on the way, I mean, are you going to be trying to grant any wishes for Christmas, and are you going to be trying to make people's Christmas horrible? Have you got anything going?
Yes. Oh yes. Yes, I mean, I'll make Christmas miserable for every single person, every single child in Lichfield will have the most miserable time.
Can you
And
counteract
I'm
that?
here to make it magical for everyone.
That's convincing. You've got it nailed already, haven't you?
Yes.
It's going to be good. 01543 412 121 is the box office number. LichfieldGarrick.com is where you can go get your tickets online. And it's going to be an amazing panto with magic and all sorts, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's amazing you saying the number. Say it again.
It's written on my eyelids. 01543 412 121.
Wow. Any more tricks?
No, I'm from an age when we didn't have mobile phones, and they had to remember. You remember remembering phone numbers, don't you, Jill?
I do remember phone numbers, and I remember lines.
Yeah. So I can't do lines, but I can do sometimes phone numbers. But there we are. Lovely to see you both. Have a great time at Christmas. Break a leg, and don't damage any beanstalks unless it's contractually obliged.
Thank you.
Now, Bake Off is back, and Wolverhampton has one of its own in the tent. John Mincher joins me now. How are you doing, sir?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right, sir. I'm very impressed with your star baker in the first episode. It must be an absolute amazing moment when that happens to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a shock now. Watching it back last night, it was like reliving it again. I was still on the edge of my chair thinking, am I going to get it or not? Even though I knew what was happening, it was still so surreal.
Well, it was a tight show because, I mean, we'd had a handshake already in the first episode of the series, which is quite a surprise.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the first time that a handshake has ever been given in a signature of the first episode. So Illy did amazing to get that. So it started the series really well.
And obviously, amazing being part of it. So how did the journey begin for you? What suddenly prompted you to think, hang on, I can do this?
You know, I've always loved baking. My nan got me involved in baking from a really young age. And then I've always loved the show. And I thought, I have got just as much chance as everybody else. I really worked hard to up my skills to hopefully get on the show when it happens. Hard work pays off.
And it's an intriguing one because, I mean, you're now a national celebrity and you will be for some time to come. And it's intriguing as well because you're no longer, as most people know, you're John Mincher, but you're now John from Bake Off. And that's a thing.
Yeah, it's so surreal to hear the term like celebrity because things change literally overnight. To me, I'm just still the same person that's coming to do my job in the NHS every day. And now there's this John from Bake Off rather than John that works for the NHS. It's so exciting, but so surreal.
And what's been the strangest part of it so far, apart from bumping into Paul and Prue on a regular basis?
Well, yeah, there is that. I think it's just being recognised. I picked up my nephews from school last week before an episode had even aired, and people were stopping me. And I'm like, how do you even recognise who I am yet? So it's only going to get more like that, I reckon, after the episode last night.
Yeah, well, I'm lucky enough to bump into a number of the bakers from over the years at different events that I end up working at, and they're always good fun, and they always talk about the friendship and camaraderie. But and they've always got time for people as well. I mean, Chigs was absolutely fantastic when we had a bit of a catch up. That was an amazing one. And I was talking with Matty earlier on this year, following his win last year. And of course, you've got currency, haven't you? As the winner, he's got currency for a good 12 months and then beyond. Because is a cookbook a hope for you at some point in the future?
I would absolutely love a cookbook. I mean, that is the goal, to be able to do that, and the dream. It's something I've always done. I've always written down my recipes, and I've always used my own recipes generally anyway. So there's a lot of material there. So who knows? Hopefully.
Yeah, because I mean, the first episode and the technical was an opportunity to use your own recipe and not one that had been suggested, having that put together a Battenberg from scratch from just a pile of flour that's left in front of you.
Yeah, I mean, they really have put on us this series. I mean, for that to be the first technical where we don't even have a recipe and just have a cake to look at, I think you saw my reaction on the show, how shocked I was at that. And luckily, we're all amazing bakers, so we kind of know, as long as you know the fundamentals, you can kind of figure something out. So, but the marzipan, yeah, wasn't fun. But we got there, and I'd even forgot I came third, to be honest. Watching it back, I was like, oh yeah, I came third in the technicals. So, yeah, it was all a bit of a blur. It's so surreal.
And obviously, we've got a fantastic run as we head towards Christmas with the Bake Off family entertaining us on screen. And it's something which I assume you're almost probably going to have like some watch clubs when the rest of you and the other 11 get together, either virtually or real life, to see an episode go out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're in touch constantly. There hasn't been a day in the last 6 months, if not longer, where we haven't all spoken in the group chat together. So yesterday we were kind of zooming each other whilst we we're all watching our different parties, and that's something that's going to go on the entire season and well beyond.
So it's an interesting experience, and say getting to be part of something like that is special. And we're on the 15th series, but it's still so few people out of the UK who've done this. And you're in the same tent as some of the amazing celebs have been in as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's so surreal. There's so few of us really that have been lucky enough to make it into the tent. And the fact that it's now worldwide, I think it's something like 80 countries. I'm sure that rings a bell. There's so many different versions of Bake Off, but the Great British Bake Off is the one that everybody wants to be on. So I'm part of a very exclusive club.
Yeah, because I mean, let's face it, not only are you on Channel 4, but you're also going to be shown around the world. And this is it. So holidays, wherever you go, are going to be different going forward.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we air in America on Netflix on Friday this week. So that things are going to go crazy. I'm going to wake up Saturday morning, I think, to a few extra followers after it's aired in America. So that's exciting.
So are you already out there on the likes of Instagram? Because I mean, I've got you on Facebook, but that's separate. But when it comes down to the likes of Insta, you're going to just sort of rack follows up there, left, right, and centre.
Yeah, so it's at John Mincher on Instagram and TikTok. So that's where I post a lot of my bakes and a lot of behind the scenes things. And me and the bakers do a lot of things together and stuff. So yeah, so feel free to follow on there too.
Okay, give that a check out. But obviously, being at work as well, I mean, you should think that was a surreal experience today.
It was so surreal today. So I'm sat at my desk doing my normal job as everyone's walking past my office, congratulating me. Obviously, really pleased and really proud that I got Star Baker, that I'm even on the show, because nobody knew what was happening. People just thought I had annual leave, or people thought I wasn't very well because I was in and out of the office. So yeah, I've had so much support in the NHS. It's great.
Well, it's absolutely fantastic to see someone doing so well, and really, you hit the ground running with that one. So fingers crossed for the rest of the series for you.
Thank you very much.
And keep up the good work. And if it comes down to it, if you had to suggest a recipe now that was very much a signature for you, what would it be? I mean, how do you see your sort of big party piece of a recipe going? What would you choose?
You know what? My showstopper cake yesterday, that's a bake that I have done for years and everybody absolutely loves. It's my margarita cake, and it is one that is a classic, and that will be in every cookbook that I ever make, hopefully.
Okay, so we'll look forward to seeing that. Meanwhile, I need to track you down and get some cake from you, so we'll talk about that after. But for now, John Mincher, thank you for joining us.
No, thank you very much for having me.
Now, Amy Finch from Stowlawns Primary School is doing a sponsored walk to raise funds to highlight the brilliant arts and crafts that are available through the school. She joins me now to tell me more. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Now, when it comes to the costs of kids having a great time and in the world of creativity, whether it's art on stage or whether it is some of the art on the wall, it obviously has a cost to it. And passing that on to the parents is obviously difficult to do, particularly where the way times are now. So you're doing a bit of a sponsored event to help raise some funds.
Yeah, so it came about because more and more of our children are wanting to become involved within the arts, both creative arts in the classroom, externally, dance, drama, performance, that side of things. So like you've said, giving the cost to parents is quite a tricky one. So I've decided to do the sponsored walk, raise as much money as I can to keep the cost minimal to parents when we give them the opportunities sort of that we're getting hold of at the moment.
So it'll be something that'll be part funded, which will be great. And what sort of things are you looking at planning on doing? Because I say, but performance art is going to be the direction you're going for?
Yeah, so hopefully like performance arts will be the direction that we go for. So at the minute we've got a team of youngsters performing with Ortin, a company from Birmingham, at Walsall Arboretum on Friday. Again, that's been funded through sort of all the fundraising that I've done to now, with some cost to parents, but we've subsidised sort of heavily the majority of it. We've signed up with Flexus for their Sky's the Limit project.
No, they are good, aren't they? Those are amazing stuff.
Yeah, so we sort of found that on Instagram and was like, oh, let's get involved with that. So we've opened that to our year 3, 4, 5 children, and we're going to be involved in that project with a performance in January at the arena.
Hmm.
And then we have a dance team that go out and perform. And we work with a company called Linden Dance Company from Birmingham. They come in and work with us. And then last year was our first year. We took part in the Great Big Dance Off competition for schools. And we were lucky enough to get to nationals. So we took 10 children to Oxford to go and perform on stage there, placing 14th in the whole of England.
Well, that's absolutely brilliant. So great stuff being done, which is what we like. And say the fact that it doesn't cost the parents at the point of doing this is important too. So yes, they may contribute, but it's not as heavy on the pocket as it could be. And it just means that whichever kids at the school are involved, they can get involved without it, say, breaking the bank. So you're going to be doing a walk from Bilston to Birmingham. So is it how does it work is it from the school or straight into Brum?
So starting point would be from school. Just sort of like the reason we chose it is sort of like starting point of where we want the activities to take place, which is school. We want to provide the venue for all of these external things to take place. To the Hippodrome, just because of the point of the arch, really. We've had to plan the walk. It's not the easiest of walks.
Well, it would have been too easy just walking to the arena or the Grand, wouldn't it? You've got to make it a bit more of a challenge.
Absolutely, yeah. Sort of to raise those funds and the awareness of sort of how tricky it is for the arts and how, like you said, all the costs and things, how externally how hard it is to get involved. And that there's so many barriers with it. So sort of making the walk replicate that as well.
Yeah, because you want the kids to be able to have these experiences, and whatever it is they do in the arts, whether that's going to be a career for them, if that's both where they're minded and where their talents lie, or whether it's something which just helps them build confidence in the rest of what they do. And it's so important to start that early. And being a primary school, this is an ideal opportunity where they may not have put together their inhibitions yet, so they don't have to lose them to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And for some of the children, it is just that building confidence, you know. They won't normally speak in a classroom. They come to an arts sort of project and then they go back to a classroom and are more confident to answer questions and things like that. And it's the sort of overall impact it can have on a child in everyday life, isn't it?
Yeah, but they're also, it makes them work together because a performance piece, you're part of a team. But a team where it's not like I've got to get this out, I've got a boring job to do. You're a team where actually I've got something to help enhance the way we all look as a unit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So brilliant work to be done. Good luck with the walk. So coming up early October, people can support you. So how do they do that?
So we've got a GoFundMe page that I've shared via our socials, obviously on my own socials as well that I'm sharing. So people can support via donations through the link on there. And obviously everything that goes through there will be sent into school.
Brilliant. So we're looking for Stowlawns Primary if we're searching for that, yeah?
Yep, Stowlawns Primary. It's Walking for the Arts. It's called Walking for the Arts for Stowlawns.
So give that a Google. We should be able to track you down there and then get your cash in. If not, just get in touch with the school, stowlawsprimary.co.uk. And if people want to donate that way, they can. Also, absolutely. If somebody has a project that is funded and they want to get involved too, they can come along and talk to you that way.
Absolutely, yeah. We're always open to be contacted as well because we want to get the children out and give them the opportunity. So if there are projects that people are aware of, coming and letting us know as well would be great.
So walking from Bilston through to Birmingham from Stowlawns Primary, Amy Finch, good luck with it. Have a great time and enjoy doing your bit to make sure the arts prosper in the city.
Thank you so much.
That's all for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. Back with episode 798 next week. I'll see you then, I hope. Ta-ra for now.
Goodbye from the milk bar. 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 Yeah. Goodbye from the milk bar. Yeah.